Okay. This is afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm the next presenter. My name is Doherty. I'm presenting on the effect of stigma and social exclusion of persons with albinism in our society. On my preambles, I would like to skip that because what I wanted to say has been said by so many people here today. Actually, I want to retitle my own presentation as the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I want to take that in some people's perspective. That is stigmatization on the perspective of people who are living with albinism, stigma and exclusion of people who are living with albinism. I want to bring out what they have said themselves, and I want to use this as my point of explanations. Let me first of all define what we mean by stigma. Stigma is a negative attitude and beliefs about people with albinism. It is the prejudice that comes with labeling an individual as part of a group that is believed to be socially unacceptable. And when we talk of discrimination, while stigma refers to attitude or beliefs, discrimination is the behaviors that result from those attitudes or beliefs. Albino discrimination is the act of treating people living with albinism differently than those without normal skin pigmentation. Now, bringing this out in their own perspective, I want to refer to some things said by people who are living with albinism. And that is what I've categorized as the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now let us go to the good aspect of it. A woman in Tanzania specifically called Juliet. Juliet was a 28-year-old woman with albinism and with a perfect parental care. This woman was born with albinism. Coincidentally, the parents have been expecting a baby for a very long time without a success. So when they had a success of having a baby, she came out to be an albino. However, they were so happy that they had a child, not only a child, a female child. So they were overwhelmed. They could see the goodness in that child rather than the color of the skin. Now, the woman now said, in the past, people with albinism like me were killed at the time of their birth. Their family members, when they saw them for the first time, usually took the decision to strangle them, because the majority of the people thought that the presence of such an individual within the family would constitute a cause. That was the belief in our own village. But when she was born, she got the best parental care, the best love from her parents. However, let us go to the ugly aspects. She said, one of my uncles on my father's side, more than one time said to my mother, when I was only a child, to throw me away because of my odd appearance. Having white skin and a face looking like that of a fish. Another uncle also suggested leaving me to my destiny without taking care of me. God punished both of them as their wives gave back to children with albinism sometimes later. My mother told me when I was born, that when I was born, many members of my family wondered why I had white skin. They posed many questions to my father and my mother, but in the end, all of them accepted me when they discovered that the sister of my, okay, this is another case entirely. Now we have spoken about the good aspects. The good aspect was that she was accepted by her family, and her family other extended family do not really have any option than to accept her. This is another example of the ugly. My mother told me that when I was born, many members of my family started wondering why I had white skin. They posed many questions to my father and my mother, but in the end, all of them accepted me when they discovered that the sister of my grandfather on our female family side had albinism too. And my grandfather stated that because of my look, I had to belong to our kin groups. So that is another example. Why the other one was totally rejected, this one was partially rejected, but eventually because they discovered that there was someone in their family with albinism, she was accepted. Now let us go to a very bad case. You know, I said the good, the bad, and the ugly. We've spoken about the good, we've spoken about the ugly. Now let us talk about the bad. Julius, a 70-year-old boy from Luhido. This is also Tanzania. A small village in the southern part of Kilo district. Unfortunately, did not share a similar destiny with those who had the good and the ugly aspect. He recounted how his father did not accept him when he was born and had blamed his mother for the color of his skin. After his mother had died, my father repudiated me and threw me out of his house. When we lived together, more than one time, he expressed the wish to kill me or to leave me in the forest. For this reason, since then, I have been living in my mother's parents' house. You can imagine that was a very bad situation. It was a situation of stigma and discrimination and a social exclusion from the society, from the family, and from all the good things surrounding him. This is another bad example. My husband began cheating on me and beating me up when totally drunk. Since rumor of albino killings have been broadcast throughout the nation, he even began intimidating me by saying that he would sell my body to traditional healers in order to earn a huge amount of money. I could not cope with this situation any longer, and from this reason, I decided to report my husband's intention and behaviors at the nearest police station. He was found guilty and imprisoned. Praise the Lord. We can all see the perspective of stigma, a perspective of discrimination and social exclusion. But I want to conclude with this. When I hear strangers pointing at me as a white person or deep, I basically try to explain to them that I am normal woman. This was said by a woman. God decided the whiteness of my skin. I am a creature of God. They cannot poke fun at me. If they keep misunderstanding my words, then I started ignoring them. It is the only way. It is the only way. So why we have bad experiences for some people, ugly ones, and very wonderful ones. This one was neutral. When they are pointing at you, being an albino, when they are saying all bad things about you, just hold to yourself and just know your destiny is in your hand and not in the hands of anybody. Thank you.